Hi, thanks so much for joining me. Today we're going to do a brief tutorial on how to use the Archinovica on Mac. If you're not familiar with the Archinovica, you can look at the other video titled Archinovica. So the first thing you'll want to do to use the Archinovica, believe it or not, is to install the Archinovica. So you will need to visit the Archinovica GitHub. It's the first result in Google, and you can go to the release. If you are on Mac, this is the simplest way to use it. So go to the release and download the zip. Next, you'll want to unzip what you've downloaded, and then you will need to fight Apple's security features in order to run the program. So first, double-click to open. It complains because this is not a verified developer. Don't move it to the trash, just click done. Go to settings, find privacy, and find where it blocked the application, and click open anyway. Please move it to the trash. No, open anyway, and enter your password. Once you've done that, the program will open. In my case, I don't have a MIDI device plugged in right now. If I turn on my MIDI keyboard, then the next time that I open the Archinovica, it should just connect right away. What you'll notice is if I play it live, I get this funny situation where I hear both the regular 12-tone equal temper tuning and the tuning in 5-limit just intonation. To avoid this, I'll need to turn off local control on my keyboard. You need to look it up in the manual for your particular keyboard. So now local control is off, and look, I can play the Archinovica. Maybe you just have a MIDI controller. Another way to use the program would be to route the MIDI messages to some other synthesizer you might have on your computer. What we have to do is quit the Archinovica and go into our MIDI settings. You probably don't have quite as many devices as me, but show the MIDI Studio view, which will show you all of the MIDI-enabled devices for which you have drivers. And there's this little driver right here called the IAC driver, which you need to enable. And this works like a loopback device, an input and an output. So I'm going to input messages from the Archinovica to this device and then output them to a synthesizer. In my case, I'll use Ableton Live. Let's open the Archinovica. It's important that we enabled the IAC driver before opening the Archinovica. I can use setup MIDI out in, and in my case, my Java virtual machine detects the digital piano that I have connected as being two separate devices. One of them is input and one of them is output. And I just know from doing this a couple of times that the input is the second one. So if I choose the first one by mistake, it's going to complain. There's no way to send messages to this output device, so I have to choose the second one. Once I do that, I have to choose the output device, which is going to be my IAC driver. Again, the IAC driver is detected as a separate device for input and output. Not sure why it does that. So now I have it set up so that the Archinovica will send MIDI messages to this IAC driver. And now in Ableton Live, I'm going to listen for those MIDI messages, not from all devices, but from the IAC driver specifically. If I have all devices, I'll also get messages directly from the keyboard, which will create that funny situation again where I hear the 12-tone equal tempered mint plus the just intonation. I'll pick the synthesizer I want to use, analog piano, and I can hear that it's in just intonation. The funny thing is, every MIDI synthesizer will respond a little bit differently. So you want to make sure that it's interpreting the full range of pitch bend messages the right way. And you might also notice that if you have a synthesizer like this that sustains for a quite long period of time, then every now and then you hear the pitch bend jump a little bit. That's because the Archinovica has to switch over to the next pitch class. So this G sharp might actually be MIDI message 67 instead of 68 because it's run out of pitch bend space for the G sharp pitch class. And that's it. Please share your own Archinovica compositions at thedelightofcomposition.org. We'll use this space to build community and share ideas.